All right, y'all. So, part of what I'm going to say is my fault. I've got to own it. Rest of what I'm going to say ain't. So let's go ahead and get with the Anthony takes a piece of humble pie for a minute. And I'll admit what was my fault. Many of y'all know I'm an over-the-road truck driver. As much as I would love, absolutely love, to be drinking a mojito in South Florida, I'm up here freezing my ass off up here in Pennsylvania. I have not been home in close to 6 weeks. I'm out here making money. Got nothing to do but make money. Might as well. Well, y'all know that the Ohio Court of Claims dismissed my case in state court, and I appealed it. I have a strong suspicion that this is partially my fault. Excuse me, when I can speak. I have a sneaking suspicion that will also be dismissed. I didn't realize that I was supposed to send a brief. So I sent my brief. And apparently what I put in there was rejected by the court. They accepted it and then they rejected it. I've been running around the country in a pickup truck, so I'm not in a semi at the moment, doing my boss a favor. So I'm running around the country in a pickup. I'll be back in a semi where I can actually access my laptop, considering I don't have a power inverter in here yet. Try to see exactly what they wanted. But basically, I thought a brief, and this is what they wanted. They wanted a brief. They sent me a letter December 30th. I had 15 days to respond. Well, as of today, I'm past 15 days. Again, my fault. I should have known, and I should have paid more attention to the filings of the court. So that falls on me. Should have checked it every day. I saw that I was on an accelerated docket. Not quite sure exactly what that means. I'm still learning. I'm not a lawyer, okay? I'm a fucking truck driver. I'm not a lawyer. I'm good at two things. I'm good at driving this truck, and I'm good at dealing with convicts. Only two things I've ever been really good at in my life. So, that being said, I'm still learning, and it is a learning curve, like him. But I think that the appellate court is going to dismiss my claim. And that's fine. To tell you the truth, I really want to go federal with this. I want federal case law on the books to make the Ohio Department of Corrections and other departments back their staff. That's my end goal here. And I made up my mind, I'm not settling out of court. There is not enough money in the world, given the opportunity to present this in front of a jury, there's not enough money in the world that I'm willing to accept that I would allow that to happen. I am going to take this all the way. That is my intention. I am going to put everything out on Front Street. I want 12 people, 12 reasonable-minded people, citizens of Ohio, to see exactly what type of danger the state puts its COs in, and I want them to say that this is unacceptable. That is what I want. Nothing short of that will be acceptable. Not to me. I might have entertained the idea of an offer before Christmas. But when my brother, who I didn't even know personally, but he was my brother, Andy Lansing, was killed by a convict, settlement went out the window. I want to go and put this in front of a jury and let a jury decide what they think is fair. It's not about money. It never really was. It was really about policy and procedures getting changed. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm going to let the jury know straight up from the jump in my opening argument, if it gets that far, and I hope it does, y'all are going to see me get mad. Because I am pissed. I am highly pissed. I'm pissed that this was allowed to happen. I'm pissed that COs are left hanging for the want of a woke director and her social justice warrior policies. These poor, poor, poor inmates. Are inmates mistreated in prison? Let's answer that question right now. Some of them. I would argue that in the past, yes, COs have been abusive to inmates. I don't think I have. I wouldn't consider anything I have done to be abusive to inmates. Maybe a little over the top verbally a few times, because I've damn sure gotten a few of them's asses. But you know what Officer Allen or Sergeant Allen in any department has never been accused of is excessive force. I have been accused. I got accused one time and actually got a written reprimand for this, and I'll go ahead and say this because it's nothing that they're not going to find out when they start doing checks on me from previous departments. Yeah, I got written up one time. As a rookie, I had think I had a little bit more than a year on the job. It's 2018. Late summer 2018, I believe. I got written up because allegedly I denied an inmate toilet paper. What happened was I simply forgot about it. He asked me. I got tied up. We didn't have any toilet paper rolls there. The extra toilet paper was actually in a locked foot locker that the captain had the key for, and I, in the midst of dealing with 141 other head of inmate, forgot to get the key to get into that lockbox and to get his toilet paper. Okay. He wrote a formal grievance on me. I got a written reprimand for that. Other than that, I've never been accused of denying an inmate anything they were supposed to have. And again, that was as a rookie. I'm a firm believer in giving them exactly what they are supposed to have. If they're supposed to have it, you give it to them. I'm not a fan of beating the shit out of an inmate. Never been a fan of that. Are there some inmates that I have dealt with that I would love to just snatch up? Oh yeah, we all have those days. We're human. But what draws the line of the difference is do we act on it? I don't. I don't. And the reason I don't is because my firm belief and conviction that that's not the right thing to do. And I'm a firm believer in doing the right thing. Now, again, there is some shit asses. We've all dealt with them. There's also a right and wrong way to do things. Give you another example of things that I would agree happens that shouldn't. Inmates make a grievance that an officer is doing something or whatever, and there's no investigation in that. I say investigate it. Even if it's frivolous, the department still has a duty to investigate. I will grant that all day long. Because if I was locked up and there's a dirty CO doing some shit he ain't had no business doing, I would want him investigated. And hey, buddy, maybe corrections just ain't your bag, man. You know, go find a job as a bartender. Because this just ain't for you, son. No harm, no foul. You got to do something else. But again, these are things that the individual departments need to do. In the case of Ohio, if I say something slick out the mouth to a convict, that could mean my job. But if they assault me, they have almost no consequences. No real consequences, what I would consider real consequences. Outside charges would be my real consequences. Extending their time in prison would be an acceptable real consequence. We need to hold them accountable. And that's exactly what I intend on doing. I'm not giving up this fight. I will fight. I want the public to know that this is unacceptable. I also want the public to know how this affects them. Not just the fact that, if it comes to monetary payment, it's coming out of their tax dollars. That's something to consider, but it's minor. What I want them to consider, what I want a jury to consider, is the fact that if somebody commits a felony, you got to have a place to put them. Prison is where you go if you commit a felony and it's a bad enough felony that a judge and jury agrees that, hey, you need a vacation somewhere outside of the free world, so we're going to send you somewhere. All right? The cop's job is to investigate and arrest. The prosecutor's job is to prosecute. Where do they go after they've been prosecuted? To prison. Well, who deals with them in prison? Correctional officers. You cannot have a prison without correctional officers. In a civilized society, prison is where you put people who cannot function without violating laws in the general public. We can't kill them for minor felony drug possession, so we have to have a place to put them. This ain't Sharia law where we just take an arm off or a leg or a hand or a finger or whatever. We're civilized people, so we put them somewhere. We have to house them somewhere. And while they're being housed there, they have certain rights. The Eighth Amendment provides them those rights. The right against cruel or unusual punishment. Well, who stops them from enduring cruel and unusual punishment? The correctional officer. Well, what if a lot of us just said, you know what? We're not going to do our jobs anymore. We're just going to either come in here, eat the clock, and leave without doing anything, or, hey, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm going to go work somewhere else. I'm going to go drive a truck. I'm going to go work offshore. Ohio's got a lot of factories that pay more than the Department of Corrections. I'll go work in a factory. Things like this. What are you going to do? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to realize that it should have changed long before we got to this point. That's where the state's going to suffer. Food for thought. Y'all have a good morning. I'm going to bed. I'm tired and it's cold. Be safe.